Imagine a world where everything is predictable, where there are no surprises. Sounds dull, doesn't it? Yet, this isn't the world we live in. Our universe is a swirling, chaotic dance of unpredictability. This is because at the heart of everything lies an intriguing concept we call randomness. Randomness is everywhere. It's in the toss of a coin, the roll of a dice, the shuffle of a deck of cards. It's the reason why every snowflake is unique, and it's what makes sunsets so captivatingly different every evening. In the grand scheme of things, randomness is what breathes life into the universe, making every moment distinct and every event a surprise. But what exactly is randomness? It's a concept that might seem easy to grasp, but is in reality incredibly elusive. At its core, randomness refers to events that occur without any discernible pattern or predictability. These events are independent, meaning the outcome of one doesn't influence the others. And it's precisely this lack of predictability that makes randomness so fascinating and vital. Randomness plays a crucial role in our day-to-day lives. It's the spice that adds flavor to the otherwise predictable routine of life. It's what makes a surprise party truly surprising, a lottery win exhilarating, and a soccer match thrilling. Without randomness, life would be like a movie that you've watched 100 times, knowing exactly what's going to happen next. Moreover, randomness is not just confined to our personal lives. It permeates every aspect of our world, from science and technology to art and psychology. It's the driving force behind evolution, the key to secure encryption, and the essence of creative inspiration. In the end, understanding randomness is not about finding order in chaos, but appreciating the beauty of unpredictability. It's about recognizing that randomness is not a bug in the system of life, but an essential feature that makes our world dynamic, exciting, and wonderfully unpredictable. So buckle up as we dive into the fascinating world of randomness. Randomness is not just a philosophical concept, but it also has a scientific basis. Now that's a statement that begs for elaboration, doesn't it? Let's dive in. At the heart of randomness lies the realm of quantum mechanics. It's a world that operates on probabilities rather than certainties. An electron, for instance, doesn't have a definite position until it's observed. Until then, it exists in a superposition. It could be anywhere, really. This inherent uncertainty, coined as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, is what fuels the randomness at a quantum level. But what about the world we live in? The macroscopic world. Here, chaos theory takes the reins. It tells us that tiny changes in initial conditions can lead to drastically different outcomes. This is often called the butterfly effect. Imagine a butterfly flapping its wings in Brazil, causing a tornado in Texas. It's not as literal, of course, but it illustrates the point. Even systems that follow deterministic laws can behave unpredictably because of their sensitivity to initial conditions. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that just a lack of knowledge about the initial conditions? Well, not quite. Even with perfect knowledge and computational power, there's a limit to predictability. This is due to a phenomenon known as deterministic chaos, where systems are inherently unpredictable over the long term, despite being determined by fixed laws. It's fascinating, isn't it? The science of randomness isn't about disorder or lack of pattern. Instead, it's about the complex interplay of order and unpredictability. It's about understanding that unpredictability doesn't imply a lack of rules, but rather, it's about the richness and complexity of the rules themselves. And there's more. Quantum mechanics and chaos theory are just two pieces of the puzzle. There are other scientific principles, such as thermodynamics and information theory, that also play a role in the grand scheme of randomness. The unpredictability, it seems, is embedded in the very fabric of our universe. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but to be acknowledged, understood, and marveled at. After all, it's the randomness that makes our world so beautifully complex and endlessly fascinating. In the digital age, randomness takes on a whole new meaning. This isn't just a philosophical statement, it's a technological reality that affects everything from our online security to the functioning of our digital devices. Take encryption, for instance. It's the magic cloak of invisibility that shields our personal information from prying eyes on the internet. And the magic ingredient? You guessed it, randomness. Specifically, it's the generation of random numbers that makes encryption work. These numbers are used to create keys, which are then used to scramble and unscramble data. The more random the numbers, the harder the keys are to guess, and the stronger the encryption. But here's a quirky fact about computers. they're not naturally good at being random. In fact, they're designed to be the exact opposite. Predictability and consistency are the cornerstones of computer operations. So, generating something as chaotic and disorderly as a random number can be a real challenge. This is where algorithms come into play. These are sets of rules that tell a computer how to behave. Some algorithms are designed to produce random numbers, but even then they're not truly random. They're what we call pseudo-random. This means the numbers appear random, but they're actually being generated by a deterministic process. So why does this matter? Well, in the world of technology, the difference between true randomness and pseudo-randomness can be crucial. If an attacker can figure out the algorithm behind a pseudo-random number generator, they might be able to predict the random numbers it produces. And that could make the encryption vulnerable. But don't despair, because technology is always evolving. New methods for generating random numbers are being developed all the time, making our digital world ever more secure. And it's not just about security. Randomness also plays a key role in areas like simulation and modeling, where it's used to mimic the unpredictability of the real world. In the realm of technology, randomness is a vital tool for security and unpredictability. It may seem counterintuitive, but in the digital world, a little bit of chaos goes a long way. Randomness isn't just about science and technology. It also plays a pivotal role in the creative world. Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas, brush in hand, with no preconceived notion of what the final piece will look like. The artist dips the brush into the paint and lets it dance across the canvas, guided by nothing more than intuition and the random interplay of color and motion. This is the art of randomness, a process where unpredictability and spontaneity lead to unique expressions of creativity. Now consider a musician improvising a new piece. The keys they press, the notes they choose, are often dictated by a sense of randomness. There's no sheet music, no preset harmony, just the musician and their instrument, creating a melody that's as surprising to the creator as it is to the listener. And let's not forget literature. Some of the most celebrated authors have used randomness as a tool in their writing, allowing the narrative to unfold in unexpected ways. They let their characters evolve, their plots twist and turn, all guided by the unpredictable nature of life itself. But why do artists turn to randomness? It's because randomness can inspire creativity in a way that structure and planning often can't. It can lead to innovations and discoveries, to new ways of seeing and understanding the world. Randomness can be a catalyst for creativity, a spark that ignites the imagination and leads to the creation of something truly unique. But more than that, randomness in art can be a reflection of life itself. Life is unpredictable, filled with surprises and unexpected turns. By incorporating randomness into their work, artists can capture this essence of life, creating pieces that resonate with audiences on a deep emotional level. So, whether it's a painter letting the brush guide them, a musician improvising a new melody, or a writer allowing the story to unfold in its own unpredictable way, randomness is a powerful tool in the hands of a creative artist. Randomness, it seems, has a beautiful side. Our brains, it turns out, have a strange relationship with randomness. Why is that, you might ask? Well, consider this. Our ancestors, as hunters and gatherers, relied on patterns to survive. They needed to predict the behavior of animals, the change of seasons, and the location of food and water sources. Over millennia, our brains have evolved to be pattern detection machines. But here's the catch. In a world that is fundamentally random, this natural inclination can often lead us astray. This is where the fascinating field of the psychology of randomness comes in. It explores how we perceive randomness and the psychological biases that can distort our understanding of random events. Take, for instance, the gambler's fallacy. This is the belief that if something happens more frequently than normal during a certain period, it's less likely to happen in the future. Or vice versa. If a coin lands on heads 5 times in a row, we're inclined to think that tails is due. But in reality, the odds are still 50-50. Each coin toss is an independent event, unaffected by the ones before it. Then there's apophenia, the human tendency to perceive connections and meaningful patterns among unrelated things. We see faces in clouds, hear hidden messages in songs when played backward, or find profound meaning in random events. And let's not forget confirmation bias, where we tend to favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs, while we ignore or downplay conflicting evidence. If you believe that full moons bring bad luck, you'll more likely remember all the unfortunate events that happened during a full moon, reinforcing your belief. These biases, fallacies, and tendencies are not signs of a flawed mind. They are the byproducts of our brain's impressive ability to find patterns. They have helped our species survive and thrive. However, in a modern world where we encounter randomness on a daily basis, in stock markets, weather forecasts, and even in the outcomes of our favorite sports events, understanding these biases can help us make better decisions. So, our minds are not quite equipped to deal with the randomness of the world. From the fluttering of a butterfly to the roll of a dice, randomness is everywhere in the natural world. It's a force that shapes the world as we know it, and it's often overlooked in our quest for understanding. Let's dive in and explore how randomness plays a significant role in the natural world, particularly in evolution and weather patterns. In the grand scheme of evolution, randomness is the creative force behind the diversity of life. Genetic mutations, the raw material for evolution, occur randomly. These random genetic changes can create new traits, some of which may give an organism a survival advantage. Over time, these advantageous traits become more common in a population, leading to evolution. It's randomness that introduces these new genetic variations, making it an essential driver of biodiversity. Similarly, randomness is an integral part of weather patterns. The weather is a chaotic system, meaning it's highly sensitive to initial conditions. A tiny change in one place can lead to big changes elsewhere. This is popularly known as the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect suggests that the flap of a butterfly's wings might ultimately cause a tornado. Of course, it's not about butterflies causing storms, but about how small, random changes can lead to wildly different outcomes. Randomness also contributes to the complexity of the world around us. Look at a forest, for instance. The arrangement of trees, the distribution of species, the pattern of a leaf's veins, all are random. But this randomness creates complexity, diversity, and resilience. It's what makes every forest unique and every leaf an individual. In the natural world, randomness is not a bug. It's a feature. It's the unseen artist that paints the colors of fall, the unseen composer that writes the song of the birds, the unseen architect that designs the shape of the mountains. It's the silent partner in the dance of life, leading the way in a waltz of chance and change. In nature, randomness is the architect of diversity and complexity. It's a force of creation, a force of change, and a force of life. And it's all around us, shaping the world in ways we're just beginning to understand. As we look to the future, the role of randomness is only set to increase. Randomness, that capricious jester, has always played a part in our lives, but its influence is about to get a whole lot bigger. The technological advancements we see on the horizon are set to harness the power of randomness in ways we can only begin to imagine. Take quantum computing, for instance. The quantum world is inherently random. Quantum particles exist in a state of superposition, meaning they can be in multiple places at once. Only when we observe them do they decide where they are. This randomness is the key to quantum computing's potential. By harnessing this uncertainty, quantum computers could solve problems in seconds that would take conventional computers billions of years. Then there's artificial intelligence. Machine learning algorithms often use randomness to improve their models. By introducing a bit of chaos into their calculations, these algorithms can explore a wider range of possibilities and make unpredictable but often more accurate predictions. As AI continues to evolve, we can expect randomness to play an even bigger role. But it's not just about making our machines smarter. Randomness could also help us build more robust and resilient systems. In cybersecurity, for example, randomness is used to generate encryption keys that are nearly impossible to crack. In the future, we might see randomness used in more innovative ways to protect our data and digital infrastructure. Imagine a world where randomness is harnessed to its full potential. A world where quantum computers crack the toughest problems, where AI makes eerily accurate predictions, where our digital lives are shielded by an impenetrable wall of randomness. It's a world that's just around the corner, and it's both thrilling and a little bit terrifying. But one thing is certain. As we push the boundaries of technology, randomness will be there, guiding our path in its unpredictable, chaotic way. So let's embrace the uncertainty. After all, as the saying goes, the only constant in life is change. The future, it seems, will be even more unpredictable. So, how can we navigate a world filled with randomness? This is a question that perhaps you've asked yourself at one point or another. As we've explored throughout this video, Randomness is an intrinsic part of life, and it's not something we can simply ignore or avoid. Instead, we should learn to embrace it. Embracing randomness means acknowledging the inherent unpredictability of life and working with it, not against it. It's about developing the ability to adapt and adjust to unexpected situations and finding the opportunities hidden within them. Consider how you approach decision-making. Often we try to predict the outcome of every choice we make, mapping out the potential paths and calculating the risks and rewards. But the reality is, no matter how much we plan and strategize, there will always be elements of uncertainty. When we embrace randomness, we let go of the illusion of control. We accept that we can't foresee everything, and instead of trying to steer the course of events, we learn to ride the waves of unpredictability. This doesn't mean we abandon planning or foresight altogether, but rather, we become more flexible in our approach, ready to pivot and change direction as needed. In our work, embracing randomness can lead to innovation and creativity. Many of the greatest inventions and discoveries came about by chance, from penicillin to microwave ovens. When we're open to randomness, we're open to new ideas, new perspectives, and new possibilities, and in life, accepting randomness can make us more resilient. When we understand that change is the only constant, we become better equipped to handle life's ups and downs. We learn to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and learning. So, what does it mean to embrace randomness? It means to accept the unpredictable, to be flexible, to be resilient, and to be open to the unexpected. It's about finding the beauty in the chaos, the order in the disorder, and the opportunity in the uncertainty. In the face of randomness, perhaps the best strategy is to embrace it. We've journeyed through the world of randomness, uncovering its impact on science, technology, art, psychology, nature, and the future. We've delved into the mystery of randomness, unraveled its scientific principles, and explored its role in the technology that shapes our lives. Now let's take a moment to reflect on our journey. We started with the unveiling of the mystery of randomness, where we discovered that randomness is not just about unpredictability, but also about the beauty of the unexpected. We then delved into the science behind randomness, learning that randomness is the fabric of our universe, influencing everything from the formation of galaxies to the behavior of subatomic particles. From there, we moved on to the role of randomness in technology. We found that randomness is integral to the functioning of our most advanced technologies, from the algorithms that power our search engines to the encryption that keeps our data safe. In the realm of art, we discovered that randomness can be a powerful tool for creativity, inspiring artists to break from convention and explore new possibilities. In psychology, we saw how our brains are wired to find patterns even in random data, a phenomenon known as apophenia. We then ventured into the natural world, where we saw how randomness shapes the diversity and resilience of ecosystems. From the genetic variations that drive evolution to the random events that trigger natural disasters, randomness is a key player in the drama of life on Earth. Looking ahead to the future, we pondered the role of randomness in an increasingly deterministic world. We imagined a future where randomness could be harnessed to solve complex problems, from optimizing traffic flow to predicting the stock market. Finally, we embraced randomness, recognizing its role in bringing variety, surprise, and new possibilities into our lives. We learned to see randomness not as a source of uncertainty, but as a source of opportunity. So the next time something unexpected happens, remember, it's just the universe being random.